Hello, everybody. I just wanted to do a review on King of the Hill. I know I did the first 5 episodes, but like the next day, I finished um, the rest of them. I I did actually I did I do the first? I did the first five, and then I did that night. I did two more, and then I woke up the next morning. So it took me like 3 days. So the next day, the third day, I did the last three. And I gotta say, it's the same style, classiness, um, family values type show, comedy, not over the top comedy like some shows try to be. I mean, I like Futurama, but they're kind of going a little over the top like The Simpsons have been the past few years. Not quite as bad as the new Simpsons, but and I still enjoy The Simpsons once in a while, but and Futurama a lot more. But Futurama is tending towards a little absurdity with the comedy, whereas this show kept it grounded. Season 14 of the new season of Family Guy. Not sorry, what am I talking about here? The new season of King of the Hill, and um, it it was obviously better animation, but it didn't look too jarringly different. So it kind of like the last few seasons were like at least digital, so it has that same HT look that the last few seasons had. But it so in that aspect, it didn't have too different of a look. I read an article where they talked about Bobby Hill, and they were originally thinking about having him be what he always wanted to be, a comedian. And maybe in one episode he's a comedian, in one episode he's a rodeo clown. And they're like, you know what? Let's just make him more grounded because, like, most people don't like do what they dream of doing, right? You don't always, or what you always wanted to be, you don't always turn out to be. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a truck driver. I'm not a truck driver. Um, when people are kids, they want to be this, that, and the other, and then when they grow up, they do something more grounded, more real, more authentic to, you know, a more realistic job that they the lifestyle that they live. And furthermore, he lives in Dallas with owns a fusion, not owns it, but like runs a fusion um restaurant with with um some other, some family from the same country as his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend Connie, a family from like a rich family from that country, like owns the Texas Asian fusion restaurant. Um, so they just made it more grounded, more realistic, and he has the same work values as his dad. So that was instilled in him, and they wanted to show that by giving him more of a grounded thing than being like some goofball, comedian or living on his parents' couch or basement or whatever. And so that I like that. And then Connie was in an open relationship with the owner of the restaurant's son, and obviously things don't work out between those two usually, as things go with open relationships. From what I've been told, my therapist told me she has 10 patients that did open relationships, and only two of them are still in the relationships. One of them, the wife doesn't want to do it anymore, but she does it to please the husband, and the other are still like happily doing it. So realistically, out of the 10, only one of them is still happily, both of them wanting to do an open relationship. So it usually doesn't work out. Usually open relationships don't work out. There's usually jealousy, even though you're both agreeing to it. I mean, you're maybe at home wondering where your spouse is, and it just doesn't work out. There's always jealousy that creeps in, and usually you break up. And although it's agreed upon, there are specified things that you do and don't do, and people always break those rules. And again, the jealousy thing. So it doesn't work out between those two. And like the last leg of the show, the last, like, I want to say 3 episodes, Bobby and Connie start, like, basically dating. It's like a slow progression, and they kind of leave you hanging on what's going to happen next, but you kind of realize that they're in love with themselves, the other self, from when they were kids. So when they realize that, they say, let's get to know each other. She gets hurt, she's in a hospital bed, I think she broke her arm or something, or hurt her arm real bad, maybe it was a dislocation, and Bobby sits in bed with her, and they just talk and get to know each other. They're older selves. They're like about 21 years old, so still fairly young, but they grew up. They had lives in between when they were friends and dating and whatnot, and so they get to know each other. I gotta be honest, and I found the Bobby Hill parts of the show to be more stimulating and exciting and interesting than the parts of the show with Hank and Peggy and the guys in the alley. I thought that was more interesting, and I was more interested in that aspect of the show. And like, if they would have just done a show, hey, spin-off Bobby Hill in Dallas, with hardly any mention of the parents, maybe a occasional pop in here and there, I would have been fine with that. But I guess this is the way they want to go. It's still really good. It's still really close to what you were getting, what was it, 15 years ago in 2010 when we last saw the Hills. But yeah, just to show just the Bobby parts and his life was interesting enough that I could have done with just that. Just like a spin-off of Bobby living in Dallas, or even if they would have moved him all the way to New York, really, really tip the scales and move him far away, so you don't have, Hank and Peggy in it too much or at all. So, but I did like it. I did like it a lot. For a comeback show, really, 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 really good. I thought Dale Gribble was going to be like, jarring because I had to get a new actor. The story goes is that they had to do a welfare check on the actor that played him. And they found him dead in his bathtub. And they don't rule it as suicide. The coroner's office couldn't determine exactly what happened to him. But if they're doing a welfare check on a guy, they find him dead in his bathtub. I think they said they found marijuana in his system. So that usually doesn't kill you in a bathtub. I mean, that's usually not something that happens. So there was no drugs in his system. I don't know. I mean, maybe he just did. Oh, and they say he didn't drown. He didn't drown in the tub. So maybe he had a heart attack. I don't know. I don't know what the cause of death was. So I was led to believe that he at least filmed did some of the voice work. But I think he had passed away as pre-production was going on. And I think that most of the show, if not all of the show, was a different actor playing him. And at first it was kind of jarring when you first heard the voice and it wasn't exactly Dale Gribble. But you get used to it, and it's like not that bad. I thought Con, the different voice of Connie's father, Con, I thought that was more jarring, having a different voice for him, but I even got used to him after a while. I don't get why they have to do, politically correct, don't voice an Asian character if you're white, whatnot. Don't voice a black character if you're white. I don't know, it just seems a little ridiculous to me because it's acting, it's make-believe, and, why not? I don't see a problem with it. But anyway, I will rate the show. I will give it a 9.5 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. For all its pitfalls, everything that I didn't like about it, I really, really enjoyed it. And it was really a wholesome, fun, funny show. Thank you guys. May the force be with you, and God bless.